letter.
What was the word?
Oh! And they did it in fluorescent paint, so it glows in the dark. When you can't see the turtle, you can still see the word.
And that's not all. They put a whole bunch of tadpoles in the school drinking fountain. And Miss Barnes swallowed 2 or 3 by mistake. Somebody yelled, "Mildred, stop! You're drinking tadpoles!" But it was too late.
Did she get sick?
Not right away. And that's not all. And now I'm going to tell you about the Christmas pageant and what they did to that. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Clyde, Ollie, and Gladys. And they went through the Woodrow Wilson School like those South American fish that will strip your bones clean. And they went around town the same way, stealing things and tearing things up and whamming kids. So it was hard to get away from them. There was only one safe place.
Sweet our prayer, because there are no hurricanes there, that Jesus loves us as they say, because he keeps them miles away.
That's my little brother Charlie. That's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked him what his favorite thing about church was. Charlie said, "No herdmans." And that made the teacher mad, because all the other kids said nice things about God and Jesus and good feelings. But old Charlie told the real truth. No herdmans.
That's not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
It's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Hartman in school.
Is he the worst one? Leroy?
They're all the worst one.
Ralph's the biggest, so Ralph gets you.
That doesn't make any difference. Gladys isn't big, but she's fast, she's mean, and she bites.
Well, I'm sorry I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from me. Go to church. I'm glad to hear you feel that way. Why? No arguments this year about the Christmas pageant. I don't want to be a shepherd again. Tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man. I don't want to be in it. Everybody's in it. Think how I'd feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually, I didn't plan to go this year. You know how crowded it always is. They can use my seat. I'll just stay home, put on my bathrobe, relax. There's never anything different about the Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hopkins would pay you $1 to be Joseph. Elmer's sick of being Joseph all the time, just because his father's the minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
Well, what are you going to be this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
From what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Away in the manger always sounds like a closet full of mice.
What do you wear in the angel choir?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy. Some choice. A bathrobe or a bed sheet. Come on, let's go watch TV. You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to give everyone a lovely experience.
Oh, Mom, Mrs. Armstrong just likes strong things.
They're right, of course. She directs the pageant. She's chairman of the bazaar. She runs the potluck supper. Why, I believe that Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if anyone would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes.
Well, maybe she'll manage from the hospital because that's where she is. I saw George in the store this morning, and he said that she broke her leg and will be in traction for 2 weeks and laid up till the first of the year.
The first of the year? Why, they'll have to
charge of Christmas?
Well, she runs the pageant, and she runs the bazaar. I feel sorry for Helen, but who is going to do all those things?
Yes, I'll take over the bazaar, Edna. It's going to look out with supper. I don't know when the world we're going to affect the pageant. Unless, how about Grace?
I just can't, Edna. I've got company all Christmas week. How about Grace?
How about Grace? Hello? Grace?
Bob,
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you'd call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It was always the same old Christmas story and the same old carols and the same old Mary and Joseph. And that's what my mother was stuck with. That and Mrs. Armstrong.
Tell you again, Grace, how important it is to give everyone a chance. Here's what I do. I always start with Mary, and I tell them we must choose our Mary carefully because Mary was the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
Yes, and then I tell them about Joseph and how he was God's choice to be Jesus' father. That's how I explain that. Frankly, I never
I
spent
thought
much
Mrs.
time with
Armstrong
Joseph.
was a track.
Always.
How can she talk about the phone if she's in traction?
What do you think traction is?
Like, when they put you to sleep.
No such luck. Bethany needs salt and pepper and
And I
that.
tell them there are no small parts, only small actors. Remind the angel choir not to wear earrings. And
You will leave some for the rest of us, won't you, Charlie?
I'm hungry. Leroy Herman stole my lunch again.
How can you let him do that to you day after day?
How can I stop him? Where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
It's still in the oven. I'll get it.
do that. And you can keep an eye on the shepherds too. Oh, another thing about the angel choir. Don't let them wear lipstick. You think because they play.
Helen, I have to go. There's someone at my door.
So tell them.
Someone at my door, Helen. I'll talk to you later. Yes, I'm coming.
Lady, can you give me some food? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
Oh, for heaven's sake, excuse.
Well, I was very lonely at the table.
Well, I guess Helen feels lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the telephone is working.
I bet she told you no small parts, only small
And
actors.
about being someone to shove the big game on the shepherds to shut up.
Yes, she suggested your father.
Does that mean I have to go?
Oh, and Grace, don't get just anybody's baby to be Jesus. Get a quiet one. Better yet, get two if you can. That way, if one turns out to be fussy, you can always switch them.
My mother didn't pay much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said Mrs. Armstrong was just stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think up problems. And there were going to be any problems. Of course, Mother didn't think about the hurt things. That was Charlie's fault.
Hey, Leroy, you give me back my lunch. Sure, kid. You stole my dessert again. How do you know? Because it isn't here. What was it? 2 Twinkies. That's right. That's hers. Hey, Leroy, you think it's so great to steal my dessert day after day. And you know what? I don't care if you steal my dessert. I'll even give you my dessert. I get all the dessert I want in Sunday school. Oh, yeah? What kind of dessert? All kinds. Chocolate cake and candy bars and cookies and Twinkies and Big Wheels bigger refreshments all the time. All you want. You're a liar. And ice cream and donuts and cupcakes and look at him. Oh, the minister! Why? Is he crazy? No, I think he's rich. Sunday school. Huh.
That was the wrong thing to tell the Herdmans. And sure enough, the very next day, they were there. What's it about?
It's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. Mostly, it's about Mary.
Who's Mary?
I am. Well, probably I am. I'm a part.
All right, everyone. Beth, Charlie, you and David come. Now, this won't take very long if you all settle down. Now, today we will decide who will play the main roles in our Christmas pageant. But of course, everyone will have an important part to play. You know what Mrs. Armstrong always tells you? There are no small parts, only small actors. Isn't that what Mrs. Armstrong always tells you?
That's what she always says, but she never says what it means.
Don't you know what it means? I know what it means. It means that the short kids have to sit in the front row of the angel choir, or else nobody can see them. Well, not exactly. What it really means is that the littlest baby angel is just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone is as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you would think, Alice. I think Jesus is more important.
I still think it means that the short kids have to sit in the front row.
Girls.
Everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, will you step out in the hall and see if anyone else is coming? Now, you little children will be our angels, so you'll need to remind your mothers that you'll need bed sheets. People in the angel choir will need bed sheets. If any of y'all have old bathrobes at home. Now, what's the matter? Oh, well, let's make some room for the harvest. Now, what happened to Beverly?
I think she went home. I think she got sick.
Did she say she was sick?
She just left. All I did was say, "Hi, Beverly," and she just left.
I see. Well, will someone please tell Beverly about rehearsal? The next 4 Wednesdays after school. Plan to be here for everyone.
What if we get sick?
You won't get sick. Of course, Mary and Joseph must absolutely come to every rehearsal.
What if they get sick?
They won't get sick either, Elmer.
Well, Beverly got sick and we haven't even started
We
yet.
don't know that Beverly got sick. Now, I want you to think about Mary. She was quiet and gentle and kind. And the girl who plays Mary needs to try to be that kind of person. Who would like to be Mary? You have a question, Imogen?
No, I want to be Mary, and Ralph over there, he wants to be Joseph.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, I'll just make a list of volunteers, and then we'll all decide who should play the part. Ralph Herdman. Now, who else would like to be Joseph? Did you raise your hand, Elmer?
No.
Just raise your hand. Any volunteers? Any of you shepherds? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be our Joseph. Now, Imogene has volunteered to be Mary. I'll just write that down. What other names can I add to my list? Janet.
No, I just want to be in the angel choir.
Roberta?
No, maybe next year.
Alice, don't you want to volunteer?
No, I don't want to. I want to be Mary.
Shut up, Gladys.
I'm already married. You can be a wise man.
Well, the wise men are usually boys. Of course, they don't have to be.
I'll be a wise man.
Me too. Claude, you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand.
What's a wise man?
Just raise your hand.
What's left of me?
Some angel.
I'll be that. What is it?
It's the angel of the
something else.
Oh, we had a bed. Only all of us still in it. We wouldn't get out. We didn't like Gladys. Hey, remember how I didn't like Gladys?
That was pretty smart of Ollie not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What were the wadded up clothes?
The what?
It said in there she wrapped him in wadded up clothes.
Swaddling clothes. People used to wrap babies up in big pieces of material to make them feel warm because you mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box. Where was the child welfare?
The child welfare's at our house every 5 minutes.
There wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem. I'll say there wasn't, and there were shepherds, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory
Shazam!
What?
And one night with horrible vengeance, the mighty marble!
I don't know what you're talking about, Gladys.
The mighty marble in amazing comics. And the blind knight with horrible vengeance!
This is the angel of the Lord, who brings the good news.
Out of nowhere, right? In the Black Knight, right?
Well, in a way.
Shazam!
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bearing gifts of gold and frankincense.
What's that?
And myrrh.
What's that?
There were special things, spices and precious oil.
Oil?
What kind of present is oil?
We get better presents from the welfare.
Were they the welfare?
The what?
They were kings.
Well, it's about time somebody important showed up. Their king, they could get the baby out of the corn until an angel were to get off.
They were sent by Herod. He was the main king. And he wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.
Good grief! He just got born. They're gonna kill a baby.
Who's Herod in this play? Herod isn't in the play.
He's out to kill the baby and he isn't even the play.
Well, somebody better be Herod.
I know.
But Charlie Herod. And he says, go give me that baby. And they say, okay, he's the king and all.
But then they don't do it. They go back and get Herod.
No, I'm not going to be Herod. No one is going to be Herod.
No, Joseph gets the shepherds together and they go wipe out Herod.
See? They're gonna put one in, and it's gonna be me, and I'm gonna get killed.
Forget about Herod. There is no Herod.
And I run away with the baby till the fight's over.
Somebody ought to fix that. Gladys, God about thee.
I can't. I'm an angel.
Well, I wouldn't just hang around out in the barn. I'd go get a broom. She said there wasn't any room.
Then I'd rope somebody out. I'd tell them I've got this baby. It is the middle of winter, so either get out or move over.
I go after old Herod.
I'd send an angel out here. She could point her electric finger, turn it to a pile of ashes. Yeah, set. What's the name of this place? She never said.
Christmas pageant.
That's no name, that's what it is. I know a name. I know a name. I call it Revenge at Bethlehem.
Yeah.
Revenge at Bethlehem. The Herdmans thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI files. But at least they picked the right villain. It was Herod they wanted ganged up on, and not the baby Jesus. But the baby Jesus quit the pageant anyways. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum. But Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herdman get her hands on him. So, we didn't have a baby Jesus. And that bothered my mother. She kept trying to scratch up a baby, even at the last rehearsal.